species, but they are not as generally as social as the spotted hyenas. And also, what happened is that a lot of the mating was sort of observed to be done by nomadic males that moved through the area. So the males, argument going on behind us. We can't move, otherwise it will disturb whatever's going on, because they're literally just behind the vehicle. So, unlike spotted hyenas, where the males are part of the clan, brown hyenas. Oh, it looks like that was one of the hyenas that left earlier, and that's looks like the mother of this cub in front of us. Very distinct with those very torn ears. Okay, thanks. Jane is saying that Peter thought Lapandula might be a female based on her behavior. And Peter's, sorry, what's the second name there? That shows a distinct 7. And then from Georgina says there's a 7 pattern on the right hand side. Well, the one that we're going to focus on now doesn't seem to have a 7 pattern on the right hand side, which you turn there. There's another hyena coming out of the den, so that makes 10 so far this morning. And back down. Good morning, Jeannie from Washington. Jeannie says we've learned that a leopard will go up a tree when hyenas arrive. What will a lion do? It depends on the lion and how many lions. If there's a single lioness and a group of hyenas, that lioness will probably run away. But they will fight with hyenas, try to chase them off. The hyenas sort of attack them at a kill. And also it depends on the number of hyenas versus the number of lions. But there's a very simple rule with that. As soon as there's a male lion present, the hyenas sort of move away. They don't like fighting with male lions. Good morning, Sandra. Welcome on Drive with us this morning. The cubs, while they're at this age, will very seldom drink water. They will drink milk from their mothers, and that's where they get their sustenance. And hyenas, spotted hyena cubs will eat very little meat till about 6 or 7 months, and still up to that stage, the majority of their sustenance and nutrients will be from drinking mother's milk. It's only after they sort of become mobile and start moving out on foraging expeditions with the adults will they start drinking water. But hyenas could probably go 2 or 3 days, maybe even a bit longer if they need to be without water. Also depending on what they've been eating, because they do get a lot of the moisture that they need if they have a fresh kill from the blood. Rebecca Zoe's Nisikaya is active. So there we can see, smelling pastes. There we go. Now let's have a careful look at this. Hyena is jumped up now. She turns around. You can see the right side. So maybe check if that's Tapandula. Morning, Lenny from Arizona. Lenny would like to know what is the ratio of males to females. I'm not 100% sure. That's a good thing I got the Mammal Bible with me today, and I'm going to double check. Good morning, One Wolf from FC. One Wolf would like to know whether all hyenas would sit inside this den at the same time. Most definitely not. There would definitely not be enough space. There's probably very little space in there for the cubs plus possibly one adult at a time. Although they can be quite big chambers in that. If one hyena is lying in the entrance, it sort of blocks the whole entrance for the others. come on game drive with us this morning. Casey would like to know, why do hyenas' heads always seem to hang so low? Probably because they use their sense of smell quite frequently. So their heads will hang low to the ground so they can smell what's going on. Now, all hyenas are flat. We're going to have a quick look at their dentition, which is very interesting in the mammal Bible. Here we go, guys. As you can see, they don't have any distinct molars, and their molars have all got sharp edges. They don't have any grinding teeth, and these are actually the teeth that they'll use for crushing the bones. And the canines there, for when they hunt, is that they would use to sort of grip onto prey and sort of hang on and just sort of, very similar to a crocodile, just sort of grab and hang on to their prey. These over here, the incisors, have got much sharper edges and no cutting teeth, so if they want to open up a carcass. They have massive skulls. You see this big cranium here? That's to attach all those muscles that they use to crush the bone. So you'll notice in hyenas, they have a much higher extended cranium crest than lions or leopards. And that is to attach those very powerful muscles that are used for crushing the bones. And they're very, they can have huge heads for relative to their body size. The skull of a spotted hyena that's been cleaned of all sort of muscle and meat or anything can weigh over 3 kilograms. So 3 kilograms, it's probably about 8-9 pounds, somewhere around there. And that's just the skull. Anyway, don't think too much else is going to happen at the den this morning, guys, as it gets warmer and warmer. I think we're going to have a lot of flat hyenas. So we're going to move on and see what else we can find. But we've been quite lucky. Lots of action and the most adults I've ever seen. So hopefully we can go see what else we can find. Not sure what's out there yet, but we will try our best. It is getting nice and warm now. Yes, I'll wait for you. Good morning, Sharon from Memphis. Sharon would like to know why there are no jackals in this area. Well, probably this close to the hyena den would not be a good spot for them. There are jackals around. I haven't seen that many. The jackal species that we do see from time to time in the Sabi Sands, we get two species here. We get the black-backed jackal. Well, before we maybe do that quickly, I'll show you the black-backed jackal, which is the more well-known one. The black-backed jackal and the golden jackal, which are seen often around lion kills and leopard kills and things like that. And they tend to prefer sort of very big, or they prefer grasslands. Where there is the side-striped jackal, which is another species we get here, which I actually heard calling the other morning before we went out and drive, is far more of an omnivore and is actually recorded feeding on fruits and grasshoppers and things like that, far more than it has feed on meat. Good thing we brought the mammal Bible with us today. Just find where the plate is. That's cuts. There he goes. Here we go. So, here's the black-backed jackal and the side-striped jackal. So both do occur here, but I've only heard side-striped in the morning, and that's the one that's more omnivorous, less reliant on meat. Okay, hyenas, thank you very much. It's been a pleasant morning. Now they've decided to lie all around us, so we might have to dodge the hyena to get out of the den. You can see she's lying on in the middle of the entrance road. For those people who are asking what is the name of the book, it's called Smithers, Mammals of the Southern African Subregion. Unfortunately, it is not actually available anymore. It was released by the University of Pretoria. So it's a very, very sort of in-depth book where you can go into nutrition, diet, social structure, far more than your normal mammal books. And they haven't been published for a while. So if you do manage to find one online or in a second-hand bookshop, I would really recommend getting it. They are very rare and very hard to get hold of. This was actually I got as a present from my grandparents when I was about 8 years old. I think they had an idea of what I might do later on in life. And the thing is, it is specific to from Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and southern Mozambique. It is very specific to that animals of the sub-region. I mean, it goes from the tiniest mouse, bats, so very, very in-depth. It doesn't just focus on your larger mammals. Also, dentition, fecal samples, and it's a really, really great book if you do manage to find it. It's my bedtime reading. Okay, copy that. I know we see them often, but they are such pretty birds. And he's calling nicely for us. And we're not going to be able to enjoy them for too much longer before they head back up to Central Africa. So I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm going to get you to tell me what it is. So, what bird do we have sitting on top of this dead knobthorn? Please send your answers via email to questions@wildearth.tv, or on Twitter, just use the hashtag SafariLive. Oh no, he's not calling for us. There we go. Oh, and he's off. So, I'm waiting for your answers, guys. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you quite an interesting story about that family of kingfishers. It's the start of their Latin name is Hyenas, and that is named after a sort of, like, if I remember correctly, an old Latin word referring to the sea when the Mediterranean is so flat it looks like a lake. Halcyon days, I think, is a description used in English quite often. Oh, not often, but it is a description used in English. And they get that because a relative of theirs that lives in Europe, I'm not sure which one, would get confused by the sea being so calm and like a lake, and they would start flying across it like it was a lake. And fishermen and people on boats used to find these kingfishers either dead in the water or they'd land completely fatigued on the boat. And so that's where that family got its got the beginning of its Latin name from the Mediterranean being Halcyon, flat, and looking like a lake. Andrew, do you have any answers yet? Well done, Kathleen, Charlotte, Diane, Jennifer, Valerie, Charlene, all got it correct. It is a woodlands kingfisher. Oh, challenge, guys. You say that's too easy. So, next bird we're going to try ID is going to be an LBJ. And for those of you who don't know what an LBJ is, a little brown job. Very brown, small, and... Okay. Well, while Alex and I go see if we can find something else, we're going to cross back to Scott for a while and see what he's got. Enjoy. And I'm going to have to think of some harder questions for you guys. Welcome back. We've got a herd of Hyenas crossing the road in front of us. I'm not sure how many there are. We actually saw them down in a riverbed. We even elevated where we were on the road, and then one popped up in front of us crossing the road, so we knew the rest would be following behind. It was such beautiful animals to view that any opportunity we can to show them to you, we will. Certainly one of my favorites. Certainly the most Bambi-like of the antelope we get in this area. The vertical white stripes, the little white spots on their run. Not very pretty. Any more that still need to cross ahead of us. Give it a moment or two, but what a morning it's been, and so happy that the hyena den site's been active in a way that I've yet to see it, and I don't think Brent's also seen it that active, so I really look forward to sitting down with Brent after this morning's drive and chatting with him about that and watching some of the highlights. And then also to see a Buddha, the dominant male of this area, was a real bonus. And
the wave we found him this morning was just so exciting for Brian and myself. I did mention it briefly as we found it, but I'll reiterate now because I didn't have much time to explain that. We were driving along one of the roads and there was nothing much to see, and then all of a sudden I got the smell of buttered popcorn, which is unique for the leopard scent mark. It's an incredibly bizarre fragrance to smell, and who would have thought that a leopard scent mark would smell like buttered popcorn? I certainly didn't. And anyway, I reversed so that Brian could also get that smell a few meters, and he smelled it, and then we carried on. Probably not even 15 or 20 meters, there was a little bit of a squiggle in the road, and then Brian spotted him right there in front of us. So that was a real bonus and something that doesn't happen every day out here. Well, it looks like the Hyenas have all crossed the road, so we will continue. If you could ask Brent what his plans are. Okay, I'm going to head towards Twin Dams. I'm on Vulture's Nest, Hyenas Road. South now, heading south from Central Road. That was quite funny. Brent and I both asked Andrew to find out what one of his plans were. So I'll let Brent know mine. It'll be interesting to hear what his are. Copy that. Perfect. That sounds like a great plan. So what could happen next after such an action-packed first half of the drive? Time will tell. There haven't been too many vehicles exploring the areas that myself and Brent are going towards now. I'm going towards Twin Dams, so the southern and central part of Juba, and Brent's going to Treehouse Dam, which is also southern but a little bit more to the west of this property. The good news is there haven't been too many vehicles driving this area yet this morning, therefore we can assume that there's some unknown possibilities in that area, or in these areas that we're going to. So, look forward to investigating the tracks on the road, any signs we do get of what may have moved through this area last night. Oh, well spotted, Brian. Really pretty bird.
Yeah, thank you for being there this morning.
That is the line of crested roller. Certainly one of the most pretty birds we get out here. And in crisp morning sunlight, like we're seeing it now, you don't get much better, really. Well done, Brian, for spotting that. themselves on these dead trees so that they've got an unobstructed and clear view down to the ground where they'll be scanning for insects, which they will feed on, and they'll fly down and catch their prey, mainly on the ground, but sometimes on the wing in the air. So, let's give it a moment or two and see if we can't see this beautiful bird bomb down and catch something. It's the best when birds catch prey that's a little bit actually too big for them, because then you have to see them struggling to initially dispatch the prey, and once they've managed to do that, then they have to somehow swallow it. Oh, a little yawn there. And if you're asking me, I think it's getting ready for action. Seems to be patience is your best friend out here in the African wilderness. If you don't have it, you will get frustrated very quickly. You do have to invest time in animals if you hope to see them doing interesting things. And by investing time here, we're not only increasing our opportunity of seeing this lilac-breasted rotor doing something interesting, but we're also just enjoying the sounds around us, listening to any potential alarm calls that may ring out. Because if you're driving permanently, you lose out on so much of the beauty of this area, and by being stopped and stationary and actually just looking around and enjoying the surroundings is often what leads to greater things. Bit of an unfair scenario though, because I can sit here and relax and just look at the monitor, whereas Brian is sitting poised almost like a predator in ambush, because he has to be really loud to swivel the camera if the bird flies. So thank you, Brian, and I'm hoping that this lilac-breasted rotor doesn't keep you waiting too much longer. You also notice that Brian has zoomed out a little bit so that if it does fly, he's ready to follow it down to the ground while it catches its prey, whereas if it was very tight and zoomed in on it, it would be a lot more tricky to follow the bird as it flew. So he's ready for action. We just need to get this lilac-breasted rotor to sort out one or two of its pre-flight checks, and then find an insect for us.
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day through January 31st, join a real
I'm just going to creep forward to see if we can find out if it did actually catch something. And that was beautiful seeing it float down like that, and we were paid off for waiting. And again, well done to Brian for being ready there. I actually had drifted off and wasn't watching too closely, and only saw it as it was halfway down its descent. There's a flag. Got it? Okay, well, if it did catch something, it appears to have gobbled it up already. We'll leave it now to continue its hunting, and again, well done to Brian for capturing it float down there towards whatever it was interested in catching. And we shall now continue. Georgie in Australia, good morning, and welcome along with us. Georgie is asking whether the female lilac-breasted rhodas have a similar coloration to the males, and yes they do. It's very difficult to distinguish them, and that goes with not only the lilac-breasted rhodas, but a lot of the other rhodas as well. So what I'll do is I'll get my book out in order to show you. So, unlike most birds, there's no sexual dimorphism between the rhodas, and all of the beautiful different types of rhodas you can see here, from the European at the top, which are still around here, and we'll still be able to show you some of those before they migrate back towards Europe. The lilac-breasted rhoda we also get here, which is what we've just been looking at. The racket-tailed in the middle is a really beautiful rhoda that is exceptionally rare and only found in the northern parts of the Kruger National Park. I've only seen them a handful of times in an area called Pifuri, an incredibly beautiful area in the north of Kruger. And the bottom two rhodas, the purple and the broad-billed, we may see here, but the purple rhodas we do get here for certain. The broad-billed, again, northern Kruger, not really here. But you'll notice no sexual dimorphism on the pages. Whereas if I flip over to the next page, I suppose the kingfishers are the same. But a lot of the birds, like the woodpeckers, will have slight differences between male and female, and they'll often show you both the male and female pictures, so you can differentiate between the two. Okay, sorry Brian, I just ambushed you there.
Checking Shibang towards Trials. Bam. Okay. Welcome back, guys. We're gonna go check down towards Trials Dam. There were some elephant tracks, and so we're gonna try to see if we can find some elephants. They looked like the tracks were heading down towards the dam, and this is always a good area for leopard as well. So we're just slowly meandering. Oh, here we go. Nice group of Impala boys. And I think, as calm as they look now, they're going to start the rutting season towards the end of this month. April, May, rutting season, start chasing each other, making lots of noise, and start trying to sequester little groups of females off for themselves. But at the moment, they're quite happy to stay in these bachelor groups. More eyes, less chance of being eaten by predators. So if you focus in on his back ankle there, please, Alex. Right down, and actually maybe that's just about 75. So I don't know if you can see right just above the hooves. Whoops. There's those tiny, oh, those not tiny, those black sort of, how to describe them, fat ankles, for lack of a better description. Those are actually glands, and they release a, pheromone's probably the wrong word, but they release a substance into the air when an impala is chased, and they kick off, and that's what releases when they sort of jump and kick, and you've seen those big kicks from impala. They're called metatarsal glands. And what that releases a substance into the air. There's two different theories of what it's for. The one is that it's to confuse predators, but I don't think that's true personally. I think that's a very big push. The more reasonable explanation is that after the herd has been split by a predator, it helps them to relocate each other and go back into a group. Because when you are in a herd, the more of you are, the less chance you're going to be the one that gets eaten. Oh, he's having a little scratch. Itchy. Oh, that looks quite nice. Impala is such an incredibly adaptable species. They're a browser and grazer, so they can take advantage of what that enables them to take advantage of both sort of areas of food. So they can take advantage of the browse when there's more browse, and
start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day, through January 31st, join a
See, I just saw something scoot through there, and one of them impala also saw it. Not sure what it was. It could be another antelope, or it could be, who knows. So we're just going to have a quick check. Just saw a little bit of movement through the bush here. More than likely a Daiko or a Stenbok, but it's always worth having a look. This could be a barn. Yeah. Oh, I can't see him. Now we're just going to freewheel down the hill. Nice and quiet, gives us an opportunity to hear what's around. It's going to be amazing one day when they make an electric vehicle that's going to be nearly as quiet as this. All you hear is the tires on the dirt. beautiful morning. Temperatures started rising quite a bit. It's always a good sign. Maybe we find the elephants heading down towards water. So your sort of nocturnal and crepuscular animals have stopped moving now. There might be some movement left, but the majority of them would have sort of rested for a while now. There, you guys wanted a bit more difficult questions. Maybe I'm going to be shouted at again for asking you guys something too easy. But the word crepuscular, who can tell me what the word crepuscular means? And I'll give you a good example of two species that are crepuscular. African wild dog and cheetah are crepuscular species. Please send your answers through to via email questions at WildEarth.tv, or just use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Crepuscular. I love that word. It sort of sounds nice as it rolls off the tongue. Crepuscular. Oh, we got treehouse down now. No sign of anything. We'll keep on checking down towards Weaver's Nest. Good morning, Searoll. Searoll would like to know the difference between browse and graze. Searoll, browse, browsing species, kudu and yala bushbuck, they eat trees and bushes, so they eat leaves. Whereas grazers eat grass. So impala are, as we were talking about, quite unique, that they are both browsers and grazers, which is not that common in the antelope species. So while we continue to look for those elephants whose tracks we saw earlier, we're going to cross across to Scott for a bit to see what he's got.
Giraffe, yes, so we're going to head right to that. Welcome back. And we were all fine on the right quickly. Beautiful. Well done. Good response down there by Brian. Look at how beautiful this is. An incredibly beautiful eagle. And I'm going to ask reviewers to tell us whether it's a male or a female. And you can also give me the species, but the species is quite easy for those of you who have been following the drives for a while. It's a very distinctive bird of prey, this. The bright red beak, bright red legs. And you can also determine the sex of it, especially easily when they are flying, as it is now. It may come back into camera shot for Brian, and this has certainly been the best footage of this incredibly wonderful raptor. But I think it may be gone. And funnily enough, just a few minutes ago, oh, yeah, it's coming back. Just a few minutes ago, we tried to also film one to show you, but as we started filming it, it just flew off miles away in the other direction, and therefore couldn't follow it. It just went too far away. So we missed the first one. Then we saw some go-away birds having a bath at the dam, which also flew off as he came across to us. And at that point in time, I noticed the battalion that we were now looking at. So, wonderful views, and again, good work to Brian on camera. Now, There's also another interesting animal that we haven't seen for a long time, and so happy that we've managed to find one. It's in there somewhere, and stand by for beautiful big male giraffe. Well, we had tracks of the giraffe in this area yesterday, and I was just telling Brian that I hope we get lucky today, because we also had some zebra tracks coming down to the dam now. And zebra and giraffe are two animals that we haven't seen for less than a week now, I think. And as I was complaining that we've been led down to this dam in the hope of finding giraffe and zebra, we spotted this giraffe, just a few minutes ago. Well, we're quite far away from him, so what we're going to do is we're going to just drive around onto the other side of the dam and get a bit closer, and also hope to see these are the girl laborers that are having a bath. We just missed them bathing, but now we can see them sunning themselves, drying out after their bath here at Trinidad. So all kinds of action keeping us busy here. Okay. Cool. I think that's a great plan. Actually, Brian, would you mind showing this? Okay, RC, well done. You pointed out that the other eagle that we saw earlier was a male, and then now you'll be able to notice the difference between a male and a female. So well done RC, well done Shanae. The male you would have noticed was the bird we saw earlier, had kind of half black, half white under the wings. Whereas now we can see the female, she's predominantly white with a very thin trailing edge of black. And the way I like to remember the difference between the male and female bachelor is you can imagine the male dressed up in a suit, half black, half white, on its very that's right above us now, so Brian can't tilt the camera enough, but it may float out into a better view. And the female bachelor is all white, like a lady in a white wedding dress. So the male half black, half white, as if he was in a suit, and the female almost all white under the wings, like a lady in a wedding dress. So two of certainly the best views I've managed to share with you since I've been here, and it's quite fitting that it was both the male and the female. So for those of you who didn't know how to differentiate, or even didn't know what a battalion was, you now know that that beautiful bird is called the battalion, and you can differentiate the males and females when in flight. You can also tell when they're sitting.
Start and end your day on safari.
No immediate sign of them. But that's not a transmush, because we can continue on and do this beautiful big male giraffe. Oh, look who it is. That's a strange beast right there. They don't know we're here either. This is quite funny. I think we should. Well, that's Brent and Alex going past us. Brent and Alex, you guys having fun there? Okay, copy. Just saw you drive past. We're on that fire break. and enjoy the mulati. This really is a magnificent specimen. I think reversing is going to be our best option for now. Try and get a little gap. I wonder if this was the same individual whose tracks we had here yesterday. Could well be. Not going to be perfect this view, but far from perfect. But we'll just wait for him to move out into an opening, which I'm sure he will. A little ox up on the top of that horn-like structure known as an ossicone. And you'll notice that the top of this individual's ossicones are bald. And that's indicative of a male. They're also considerably thicker than the ossicones of female giraffe. And female giraffe have hair, little tufts of hair growing off the top of those old vestigial horns. This oxback has got a restaurant with a view at the moment. Imagine being all the way out there, snacking away. It's interesting that he's not really doing anything at the moment. Usually if they're not feeding, they would be ruminating or chewing the cud. Yet he seems to be doing neither of the above. I'm wondering how we're going to get into a position where we can show you a slightly better view of them. I think we might just need to be patient. Go ahead. Oh, very nice. Well done, good luck. Okay, well the good news is he has decided to move, which means we might not be able to get a better view of him. Quite a picture. Stay on the road here and see if we can't find a decent gap. Oh, really? This might be a jack. Ah! That's better. Look at those two oxpeckers perched on his head. One on the left hand ossicone and one between. His dark brown patches on his coat are fairly dark. I'm it will continue to get darker as he gets older. It's a combination of age and genetics, the darkness of giraffe, but the males sometimes do go almost a dark charcoal black on those darker patches, and they really look incredible when they get to that stage, or if they get to that stage. Just to go back to the WildEarth sighting, the beautiful eagle we saw earlier, I'm sure a lot of you, a lot more than RC and Shanae, also got the correct gender of the first WildEarth that we saw, but it's a tricky job for Andrew to file through all the answers in the final control room. So if you also did get the answer right, you know you did, and well done. And I'm just also so happy that we got to show you the difference between both the males and the females.
Start and end your day on safari.
And the answer to that is no. They will typically always run away from humans. And in a scenario where a giraffe is wild and hasn't been hand-reared or reared in captivity, it would very unlikely ever pose a threat to us as humans, be it on foot or in a vehicle. They'll avoid us at all costs. Sometimes if you actually lie down in the bush, in an open clearing when giraffe are around, giraffe may come up and stand over you and investigate you, but they don't always do that. But sometimes they can be a little bit inquisitive, but certainly don't pose a threat to you. The only time I've heard of a wild giraffe, it actually killed somebody, but it's a tragic story, and it was somebody living on a wildlife estate, and they're quite common and popular now in South Africa to live in a gated community, but within the gates are wild animals that live on immature reserves, and not always necessarily predators, but a lot of herbivores will live on these small wildlife estates. And I think the lady was taking her dogs for a walk, and the dogs started causing trouble with the giraffe, and the giraffe was trying to kick the dog that was yapping at its heels, and the owner of the dog tried to go and get in the way of both of them to get the dog away from the giraffe, and it caught a stray hoof. The person caught a stray hoof from the giraffe, and that was the end of that. You do not want to be kicked by an animal of that size because it could be fatal. So, Elaine, other than that bizarre, tragic and kind of freak occurrence of a giraffe killing somebody, I'm not sure if there's been any other documented cases. Another point where they could be dangerous though is if lions are hunting them. I've heard of a giraffe falling into a vehicle before and killing a few of the guests, but again it's a freak occurrence, and the chances of lions chasing a giraffe into your vehicle when on safari are very, very slim. So other than those two bizarre stories I've just told you, you've got nothing to worry about with giraffe, and they're very placid animals. They go about their business. Very little violence ever. So reposition again quickly, because Brian's running out of Brent's found some female leopard tracks in the Moati riverbed heading from our southern boundary into Juma. So he's following up on that just to keep you updated on his movements. So good prospects there. I look forward to hearing what happens next with
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day through January 31st, join a real African safari live online.
Consider going to drink at the dam where we were positioned earlier. It's not far from it. I just want to position myself out of this direct. Okay, there is Tim the cat. So now watch closely. He's going to swallow the mouthful that he's currently chewing on, and I'll let you know when he does. And once he has swallowed, watch very closely, because you may see the next bonus of cut coming up his trachea, up his throat, and his head will almost jolt as that bonus gets to his mouth, and then he'll continue chewing on a fresh bonus. It looks like he's about to finish this one. Keep watching. Okay, he's just swallowed. No. He's about to swallow. He's swallowing little bits at a time. Okay, now watch very closely on his throat, and you'll see the next bonus of cut coming up. Here it goes. Look. Into his mouth. And now it continues chewing. Or ruminating, so chewing the cut. And it's one of my favorite things to watch out here. It's not easy with the angle that we're at. When you try and reposition in a sense like and try and get a side-on angle, and you'll be able to see that bonus of cut traveling up his throat a little bit easier. I think we're going to have a good gap from the side profile, which is what we want. From okay, go ahead. Okay, now watch closely. It seems like it's going to swallow this next mouthful fairly shortly.
Welcome back, guys. What Alex is doing now is we're actually in the Mawati drainage line, and we found tracks of a female leopard, and he's heading straight up. So we're still following them in the left-hand track of the road, of the track through the drainage line. So we've still got the tracks. Tracks went. What's that? So I stop here and check the tracks quickly. Okay, so we've still got tracks. They're still going straight up the gate line, which is good. Especially if it's early this morning, it's going to be getting hot. So hopefully she's going to be thinking about stopping quite soon. Okay. So we know when the signal gets better. I'm not sure it is going to, because we are going to be, these tracks are heading straight up the train line. Copy, thanks. Could you also just give me a reminder on the game so we can pass to the question? Wow. Dave, Michelle, Karen, Georgie. I know I'm forgetting some here, Andrew. Diane, Connie, Deborah, Valerie. Have you guys all got it right? Crepuscular means animals that are active at dusk and dawn.
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day, through January 31st, join a real Africans.
So it's not going on the species there. Copy, thanks. Back again. So I keep hoping every time I look around the corner, we're going to see the leopard lying in the nice cool stand. Oh, lost tracks here again. Back again. No, gone. Let's check a little bit further forward, see if they come back. And back. I'm just going to check again carefully at this junction so we don't lose the tracks or drive over them by accident. Copy, thanks. the last track I had was actually behind us. There's some elephants through here, so I'm just going to go back behind the vehicle quickly and check there.
Welcome back, and sorry about the signal issues we had, not sure what that caused that, and sadly the giraffe did move off away from the water and out of the Juma property, so we couldn't stay with them. We would have stayed with them longer if we could, but the situation didn't allow for it. Now, Brent is off the vehicle following up on these female leopard tracks, as you are aware, and we are also in an area parallel to the riverbed, so he's in the riverbed to our right, so I'm not sure exactly where in the riverbed he is, but he could be somewhere quite close to us here, I'm guessing. And by us driving on this road, we're going to make sure that if she does cross out of the riverbed, we can find her tracks here, and just help one another in trying to track her down. As Brent's mentioned, it could well be Karula, but we will only know when we find her, for certain. And as soon as Brent does get back onto the vehicle, I'll be able to get a better idea of where he's had the last tracks and take it from there. So Andrew, as soon as Brent gets in the vehicle, please just let him know on the radio that I am looking for him. So according to Andrew, he is still off the vehicle doing his thing. Go ahead, sir. Okay, copy, perfect. I've just gone north of where you are, past that junction on Twin Dams, and there's no sign of it coming out, so I've been checking carefully here, and I'll just continue north slowly, see if anything pops out. Okay, so an update from Brent is that the tracks were continuing through the riverbed, and then got to a point where a herd of elephants had been digging around, and there was a lot of elephant footprints in the way, making it difficult for him to establish where she had gone or what she had done. But he wasn't far south of us, so behind where we've just come from, and he's going to continue to snoop around in that area and see if he can find out where exactly she has headed. But myself and Brian will continue slowly along this road, checking for any tracks. She could well pop out onto this road, judging by her general movements that she's been, or the general direction she's been moving in. And that is the beauty of tracking in teams, is it allows one person to go a little bit more slowly, you could say, trying to follow each individual track, and that's what Brent's doing, and we can then loop ahead, depending on what he suggests, or where the general movement of direction is that she's heading, and try and leapfrog in order to find her. Excuse me. have been to show to you, but we saw it too late. It's coming out of view now. But there's a pair of buffalo bulls who decided to spend their day out on Hyenas tropical island paradise. There's one on the mainland. But this island only has space for two. It's a very exclusive getaway. It only has space for two buffalo, and they look extremely content and comfortable there. Oh, how did I not even notice? There's part of drinking up here. Water here. So I hope you'll be able to get you a glimpse of the last individual having his last little sips. Beautiful. Well, we certainly have had an absolutely amazing viewing. Amazing morning in terms of viewing. We just see so much interesting action going on, and a lot of the time we've been spoiled with great shots, perfect sunlight, just like this one. And so much of the sightings we have, so many of the sightings we have, would vary greatly if we were just a minute or two off. And that goes for the leopard this morning, the hyena, these impala drinking. It's merely minutes that can make a difference between seeing great sightings and not seeing them. This morning we just seem to be
Start and end your day on safari.
onto that two-track that runs behind Gallagher. Oh, little stretch. Very distinctive split in his left ear. I think this could potentially be the same individual that Alex Voss, who's on camera with Brett today, suggested we should call the judge. I might be wrong, but a few drives ago this guy was giving us a serious death stare, and there was a buffalo here at Juma a few years ago on a previous production when Alex was here that they had named the judge. Well, Brent's just decided to pop out onto the eastern road that runs along the Murwati drainage where you have these female leopard tracks, which does make the most sense. Oh, look at me wondering what on earth made that noise. It wasn't Brian and it wasn't me, it was the hippopotamus. It's such a cool noise. That was me that just did the recent one. Not nearly as impressive as the real deal over there. And who knows, there's two of them there. You can see another one's nostrils poking out in front. And maybe we'll get lucky and hear that audio again. Sadly, hippos are not the easiest animals and most exciting animals to view when they're in the water because they resemble a rock or a log, really. And being nocturnal, we don't get to spend too much time with them when they do head out in the evenings to start looking for, on average, about 40 kilograms, 80 pounds of grass they require every evening. Brian and I both just spotted these impala who appear to be possibly coming down for another drink. It'd be interesting to see what they do end up doing, but they are tending closer to the water's edge. Report for duty on Friday. So I think Mark will be out on Friday. I stand to be corrected by a day or two, but fairly certain he'll be back on Thursday, out on drive on Friday. And then I'm heading out on Sunday at this stage, but it could potentially be on Saturday that I head out. It's not confirmed yet, but either Saturday or Sunday I will leave and then be gone for just about a week until I'm back again. I haven't completely fine-tuned, or finalised rather, the plans. That'll just give you a rough idea, Georgie. And we're looking forward to having Mark back here. I'm sure he's having a great time on leave though. And as wonderful as it is being out here, we all love our job and get along well as a team, but it's great to go and see other friends in the real world and be able to stop in at a grocery store and buy a chocolate if that's what you want to do, or just some of the smaller things that you take for granted living in a city that you don't have access to out here. Come on, boys. Show us what you made of here. Do you think they said, well, if we're going to fight, should we go and do it in the shade? It would be cooler there.
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day through January 31st, join a real African safari live online.
Well, look at us. We don't want to fight. We come in peace. Come in. Has chosen quite a steep embankment down more to traverse down, but I'm sure he'll have no problem doing that. There goes his friend. Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Impalas. Well, there's not much time left, so from myself and Brian, we're going to be saying goodbye, and we've got a very, very interesting pair of animals we're about to stumble upon here. Uh-oh, here's trouble. This only needs trouble. Look at us, it's Brent and Alex. We'll have a quick chat with them and then hand over to them so that they can say goodbye. Brent, any luck with the tracks coming out there?
No luck. She could have been just hiding, and while I could have been 3 meters from me while I was stomping around the drainage line. But no tracks coming out of the station. You checked me down. Hopefully she's still in that area. I went and checked that Hyenas beginning junction as well.
Okay.
No luck there. We'll be fine.
Okay.
So hopefully she's still around. Tracks coming out of the station. You checked Twin Downs. So hopefully she's still in that area. I went and checked that Hyenas beginning junction as well. No luck there. We'll be fine. It's a die-cat.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's still around in the afternoon.
Yeah. And that's what I said to the viewers, is that now that you have such a good idea of where you have the last tracks this afternoon, you've got a good chance of getting out and letting it out.
Those elephants again, just making our life difficult, destroying all the tracks. Oh, but anyway, that's what makes it interesting.
Cool, we're going to carry on and do this loop round the back. And then we will
See you back at FC.
Cool.
Okay.
To all of you that follow and all the viewers, a big thank you from myself and Brian, and thanks to Andrew, Final Control. We'll see you later this afternoon.
Okay guys, for the last few minutes what we're going to do is we're going to head out to quarantine. Maybe we'll find some zebra wildebeest for the last few minutes. And I'm sure seeing the buffalo there, I'm sure Scott's already showed those to you, so we'll just sneak on past them. Got a bird of prey flying up to the left. Let's see if we can see it now. Ah. Let's see if give Alex a second to focus in on it. So it's a brown snake eagle. That pretty yellow face as he turned there, it's one of the diagnostic identifying features. When they're flying, also their general size and shape. They are quite a big eagle, but they're not a true eagle. If he flies right over us, we might even see his feet. Oh, there we go. Joe! He's making life very difficult for Alex. But so unlike true eagles, oh, he's disappeared again. Oh, he's gone over our heads. You can see that. I'm sorry, Alex is not going to be able to fly him. He's gone behind us. But as he flew over, I don't know if you guys saw that barring his back in. And the tail, whatnot, is another good way to identify him for us without having to pick up binoculars. That barring in the tail, light underwing, yellow on the face, yellow legs, also without feathers on the legs, which immediately removes them from the true eagle, like your Wahlbergs, Steppe, lesser spotted, tawny, that have all got feathered legs. Well, they do look comfortable, those buffalo. We've got a few other birds around. I can hear them, I'm just trying to find them now. Distinct call, where are you hiding? Oh! It's a nice little bird. Let's try to see if he sits still for long enough that we can put a camera on him. Yeah. Let's forward a little bit. Where is he sitting? I can hear them calling around here. Oh. they've taken off, unfortunately. I can still hear them. This is really frustrating. I just can't see them. Oh, well, there we go. There's that. Oh, no, now he's going to fly. Murphy's Law. Okay, oh, I can see them flying. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so if you go to that tallest tree at the back on the right hand side, that's the one. You can see there's actually a big nest in there, and that's a red-billed buffalo weaver. So they construct these huge communal nests out of thorns. That's the bird I could hear calling him. I just couldn't see where he was. Yeah, there's quite a few of them around. Also getting captured that. Oh, crested barbet calling there. It's really pretty cool. Oh, there's a wildebeest. I'm just going to try. There we go, get him through the gap. You got him there, Alex? Just, can you see him or must I go forward? So guys, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been a great morning, and Scott got Bulla early on, which is always wonderful. And then Alex and I had an absolutely fantastic sighting of the hyena den. At the end, I think there were 7 adults, or adults and young adults, and then 3 cubs and 1 sub-adult. So, that's the most hyena we've ever seen up here. But other than that, thanks everyone for joining us this morning. It was a real pleasure. Thanks for your questions. And for those of you who thought that my questions were too easy, we'll definitely think of some harder ones for this afternoon. And hopefully we can go back and try follow up on those leopard tracks again. But from everyone here, myself and Alex, and I'm sure Scott and Brian, and a thank you to Andrew and FC, goodbye and have a good morning, evening, or wherever you are in the world.